It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. Welcome to the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see in the two-board screen. I like to get on here and give my unique perspective, because after 47 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and I like to get in there and tell about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Brazil. Got some plays over in Brazil this past week. Gracias, gratitude, todo ba, bom dia. Yeah, I see you guys. Awesome, thanks for listening. And just to let you guys know, I've been studying Brazilian Portuguese for the last year. I'm slowly learning a little more words, some more phrases. Hopefully in the next few years, I'll be able to speak it very well. I'm working on it. So one of these days, I can come down to Brazil, hang out, and speak Portuguese. It'd be very cool. So thanks for listening. First, you guys, gratitude. And just FYI, back in the day, I went to school to radio DJ, but never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the awareness. If I would have had just a little bit more awareness, then maybe that would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't, and it allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true, but I said it on the internet, so it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, cars, planes, trains, automobiles. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're online, just be aware, just watch out. Anyways, I could ramble all day, but I won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, do you like rap? Well, if you do, SonZu Cosmic just dropped another single on all DSPs. So if you want to hear SonZu Cosmic do his thing, rapping and rhyming, the only way he knows how, which is absolutely madness on wax, he dropped the track called My Feed is the World. I was listening to this morning. It's absolute madness in the best way. You've never heard a rhyme like this. You've never heard a beat like this. You've just never heard a collage of such audio sounds. So I'll put the link below to SonZu Cosmic, My Feed is the World. And here's something you've never heard before in your life. So check it out now. Let's get on with the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. And it's a beautiful day. A lot of the day has been beautiful. And just to let you guys know, I've changed my diet in the last month. And since I changed the diet, I've been feeling just magnificent. Now, I'm still feeling certain type of ways some days. It's mostly feeling great, and I feel the diet is playing a big role in it. You know, they say what you eat really plays a big role in how you feel, what you look like, and what you become. I feel there's some truth to that. So anyways, I'm feeling great. I just had some refried beans, and life is good. Things are good. You know, if you look at the media and the news, you might think they're not. Look at the media, think the whole world's falling apart. Just don't look at it. Don't read the stuff on the net, bro. So anyways, yes, life is good. I'm back, and now it's time to podcast. And today, I'm going to talk about my most favorite franchise in the cosmos. And I'm talking about the one and only Star Trek. You know what I'm talking about? It's my favorite thing in the world that I'm going to talk about today. So yeah, we'll talk about that. But before I get to that, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in the parent company of Star Trek. I just want to be clear and transparent to let you know. Now that I told you that, let's get into Star Trek Lower Decks, Parth Ferengi's Heart Place. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this every week, but this episode was absolutely magnificent. It was so good. And so this episode was very Ferengi-centric. It's basically the Federation exploring the Ferengi homeworld. And I love the Ferengi. The Ferengi are so interesting to me Because I feel the Ferengi are kind of like humans. If humans were the worst they could possibly be. It's almost like if humans became the worst kind of human they could be as far as the monetary capitalist system, just amp that up like a billion. Like this is what humans could become, right? Yeah, it's so interesting to see the various things the writers come up with of how Ferengi society is. Now in Deep Space Nine we got to see a lot of it, but they kind of explored it a little bit more, and that's what's going on in the whole episode. You got to see Boimler explore the Ferengi homeworld by binge watching like Ferengi TV. You got to see Mariner in a bar with their buddy exploring Ferengi nightlife. And you got to see Tendi and Rutherford, see what it was like for a couple to be on Ferenginar. Yeah, so it's very cool just to see the different ways the culture was on the planet. A lot of Easter eggs, not going to get into them, but if you're a fan of Star Trek, you'll see them and you'll recognize them. But what I really want to get into is that after seeing this episode, I thought it would be so cool, so interesting for there to be a Star Trek series set on Ferenginar. I was just thinking about it. I was thinking maybe there could be like a Earth embassy on Ferenginar, and we could see how the Starfleet crew interact and explore Ferenginar. There'd be an Earth embassy, Starfleet embassy post or some kind of on Ferenginar. So either like a Starfleet military base or more like some kind of embassy. I feel that'd be a very good way to explore humanity in a way we haven't seen. Because, we explore a lot of different things in Star Trek, but we've not really explored the monetary system of Earth or anything, not to a large extent. And I feel if you went on there, you could explore the financial industry, global financial industry, all that kind of ideas in that whole field of study, economics, finances, and use Ferenginar to kind of speak on some of the absurdities of modern day finance. Because it's real, there's some out there. And among other things, there's just so many ways they could use Ferenginar to tell human stories and commentate on modern day society, like they do in everything else. But it'd just be an interesting take because I feel we've not really explored that a lot. I know in Deep Space Nine they did explore it a little bit. But I'm talking about dedicating a whole series show to just exploring the Ferenginar world. I feel they could do the same thing with Klingons. Actually, I feel they could do it with the Klingons, the Ferengi, Romulans, all the major races or species you've seen on Star Trek. They could just do that. But I think what it would be is we'd have Starfleets or Earth people posted on the planet, and they're living there, they're doing Starfleet business or Earth business, and they got to play within the rules of society. It's kind of like that show FBI International, where they got the American FBI posted overseas in Europe, right? So it's kind of the same thing. You'd see the Starfleet organization or Earth organization or whatever the organization may be, and I'm sure they can make something up or create something, and they'd be posted in the Ferenginar, and they'd have to do, Federation business, and that's what basically would be it. And you could explore Ferenginar that way. You could give the outsider look on Ferenginar, but at the same time, as it's a Starfleet human look on Ferenginar, it could also be like us examining modern day human culture. Like they do with Star Trek all the time. They're already doing that. I just feel there's different kind of stories and takes on modern day culture we could get through the lens of Ferenginar, because the Ferenginar are very money centric, economic centric, greed centric, and I feel there's a lot of tales that can be told there. So yeah, I thought about that when I saw it this week. I'd be like, I want to see more of this. Basically just doing what they did in Lower Decks. Just the whole series about that. Yeah, it could just be that. It could be like they go there, instead of a one-day assignment, I think it was like one day, it would be like a year posting or a couple of years or a 5-year mission of posted there. So like I said, basically just taking that episode of what they did in Lower Decks this week and just making a series out of that, right? I think it would be absolutely phenomenal. Not just the Ferengi, but all the other species in Star Trek. They're so interesting. Vulcans, Romulans, Cardassians, and we've seen a little bit of them over the years. But I feel giving a show where the central location is that space would be a very interesting way to go. Now, I've not heard any word that they might do something like this at all. Everything has been from a Starfleet perspective, which is understandably so. But it would be interesting just to see one of the shows be set in a foreign location. Quotation marks, foreign location. Like I said, there's just so many stories you get out of that. So yeah, anyways, I love this episode. It was great. It was so great. I thought they should make a series out of it. Like, it was that great. It was so interesting. I highly recommend you go check this episode out. I highly recommend you go watch all Lower Decks. I highly recommend you go watch all 1,000 hours or how many hours of Star Trek that exists, because it is absolutely a great show. There's so many lessons. It's so entertaining. It is the greatest franchise ever made, in the opinion of the captain. And there's a lot of franchises out there. That's a strong statement, but I stand by it. If you go watch Star Trek, you will not be disappointed, and you'll be a little smarter on the other end of that. At least I like to think so. So anyways, this week, Lower Decks, absolutely fantastic. And this concludes the podcast. And until next time, we'll see. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Colin Powell. Until next time, this is Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.